Hi, I'm Mindy. I'm from My Time for Change, and I'm with Emma Wilson of Emma Wilson Fitness and My Time for Change. And today our guest is Andrea Thomas. Now, Andrea Thomas is Andrea Thomas Coaching, and you're a life mindset health coach. Have I done that the wrong way around, or is that
Well,
okay?
it doesn't matter which way around. That's fine. I'll take that.
Andrea, can you just give us a little bit of information of your business and how you've got into it?
Mm. Well, it's a bit topsy-turvy, like probably most people that restart a career at 47. Um, but I've come from a background in travel, where for the last 10 years of working in travel, I was a performance coach. So I've been a coach for over 10 years, but in a different sort of format. So I learned all about NLP, learned all about principles of coaching. So that's my background. And then about coming up to maybe 4 years ago, they were restructuring, so I offered redundancy. And at the same time, my mother-in-law had took a turn for the worse with her cancer. So it seemed like an opportunity to care for her and take some time out and decide what I wanted to do. Obviously, for anyone who's cared for anyone going through cancer and then the subsequent grief of losing someone, it sort of knocks you off kilter and you sort of lose yourself a little bit, which is what happened. So I stopped self-caring, I stopped looking after myself, weight piled on, eating the wrong foods, all the rest of it. And I just lost my way a little bit. And in the midst of all that, I had another MS attack. So in the mix of everything else, I've been living with MS for 20 odd years. Long periods of health and certain periods of disability, invisible disability, chronic fatigue. And I was in the middle of all that maybe about 2.5 years ago. And I thought, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep going through life like this. I need to find this consistent energy, and I need to find this elusive balance that everyone keeps talking about. And I just didn't know where to go. So I knew I wanted to do something health related, and I knew I wanted to help people. After I'd been through that, looking through after my mother-in-law and got to know people at St. Luke's and all the amazing work that they do there, I just knew I wanted to help people. So I did a reflexology course. I've done massage in the past. So I knew I wanted to do something like that, but nothing really fitted, nothing felt right. And then I just fell on health coaching. It came up on my Facebook page, and I thought, that's it. That's it. That ticks all the boxes. It ticks the coaching side, which I loved, helping people to reach their potential. With my background, with my health story and everything I've seen over the years with health, it just felt like the light bulb moment, and never looked back. Went through all my training, and then became certified towards the end of last year. And then, so I've only been running my business really since the beginning of the year. The plan was to do it face to face with clients, based at Rosebank Wellbeing Centre in Northwich. But since the lockdown, I've gone online, and it's amazing. It's really, really good, really good. Got a thriving Facebook group. Work with clients all over the country, and so I specialise in habit change and working with people who are diagnosed, either newly diagnosed or have been living with a chronic illness for a while, and don't necessarily want to go down the route of medication after medication and doctor appointment after doctor appointment. Want to do the lifestyle change to help themselves, really. So yeah, that's me.
Fantastic. Emma, do you want to do an overview of My Time for Change and fitness?
I can try. It's funny because we've been doing these for because you make a lot of assumptions that, oh well, people know who I am and what we do and what my time for change is, but actually I think a lot of even my friends don't really know what my time for change is and what I do. So my time for change is the health, the well-being, the nutrition, the food, the fitness, the community, that arm of Emma Wilson Fitness, with food and fitness actually probably being at the very bottom of it, despite that, where people come to me going, I need to change my habits and relationship with food. I want to lose weight. I want to get fit. Actually, that's fine, but actually it starts with our mindset and our health. So My Time to Change is an online health and wellbeing program aimed at women predominantly, and aimed at women of a certain age, over the age of 35 is predominantly who comes to me, because I'm normally somewhere in their 40s, 50s and 60s and beyond, but I would say that 40s and above is kind of the point of life where all of a sudden things can get a bit tricky, and people start to feel a bit out of sorts, a bit lackluster, that elusive energy you've talked about, that sense of where is it, what am I doing, why can't I deal with XYZ. And so it's an online monthly program that you basically get me 24/7, that I guide you through a way of finding a sustainable and manageable way to eat lots.
yeah, definitely.
Live a life, and just feel that you are in your best health, your best shape at that moment in time. Always looking for improvements, but knowing that you don't have to accept where we are now, and there are some really simple things that you can do with food and fitness. But the vlogs I do, or the I guess some kind of I guess it's coaching, which I am a coach too. I'm a health and fitness coach, and it's still coaching. It's taken me a long time to kind of put the word coach to my name, because it's not how you see yourself. You kind of you know, when you train initially, you get called an instructor, but actually instructing isn't probably the right word, because that's a bit too kind of prescriptive. Guiding, yes. Nurturing, yes. And just helping people to find out what it is that they want, and to empower them with the toolkit that gets them there, I think. So yeah, so it's an online monthly program in a nutshell. That is for, it's not just for those that want to lose weight, but that's probably where most people just want to feel a bit better in their clothes and enjoy their reflection when they look at themselves, that they feel amazing, and it doesn't really matter what size or shape they are, they just want to feel amazing. So that's key, really.
Awesome. So today's topic is self-sabotage. So from obviously Andrea Thomas coaching point of view, and from My Time for Change point of view, both of you have sort of coaching skills to help people. I suppose we talked about the process of self-sabotage. So Andrea, if we start with you, and you sort of from your perspective talk about the process of self-sabotage, and then we'll move on to Emma. That'd be brilliant.
Okay. Well, I don't want to assume that everyone knows what self-sabotage is. So it's basically you're wanting to reach a goal or a dream, and something that you're doing within your subconscious. You're not, usually people aren't aware of it. It's something within your behavior that means you can't get to it. You keep trying, and there's a block somewhere, and something keeps holding you back or stopping you getting to where you want to be. So that's self-sabotage. And we have a knack, our brain has a knack of making us feel like it's our fault. You know, why can't I do it? I'm a failure, I'm rubbish, I keep doing this. And then you're piling on all this guilt and judgment onto this self-sabotage, which only exasperates the issue, really. I always like to use the analogy of like an elastic band. So you're here in point A, and you're attached to an elastic band that's attached to a pole or a tree or something, and you're trying to get to point B, where you want to, you know, your goal of losing weight or feeling better or coming off medication or whatever it is. And you keep going, this elastic band gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and then before you know it, it springs you right back to point A again, and you're right back where you started, and you don't understand, and you attach all this guilt and embarrassment and negative talk that you put onto yourself. With my health, like I said before, I had to recognize my own self-sabotage. Obviously I'm living with a chronic illness, but I had long periods of health where I could, I was doing lots of 10K races and runs and mud runs and all these great things. But what I didn't recognize was the effect of stress and anxiety that was having on my health. One of the joys of having a chronic illness is that your body tells you something's wrong and forces you to stop, because you end up with another attack. And what I didn't recognize was that I was repressing emotions around stress and anxiety that was having a knock-on effect, and that was my own self-sabotage. And I've learned that through the health coaching, and I've been coached myself and learned ways to become more resilient, to be able to handle life's stresses that are going to come our way. So everyone's different. Everyone's got their own self-sabotage. It's not unique to certain people. We've all got it. And it could be a million different scenarios, but I think we can all relate to things like something else getting in the way. So as a busy mom, you want to go out to the gym 3 times a week to, get fit and feel stronger and healthier, but I can't because the kids' homework needs doing, the dinner needs doing, this needs doing, husband needs me. So there's an excuse. So something else always gets in the way. That's self-sabotage. The desire to be accepted, that's another big one. When somebody, the co-workers at work say, oh, go on, have that second piece of cake. Go on, have that second glass of wine, why? And you want to feel accepted, you want to be part of the group, so you don't want to say no, even though you don't want it. And the one I always had was, well, I've been really good all week, so I'd serve a treat. Who doesn't recognize that one? And ultimately, it all comes down to a fear of change, a fear of change, a fear of taking responsibility, a fear of making decisions, a fear of failure, a fear of something. And it's basically our brain wanting us to keep us where we are, because that's where we're safe. So where we were in point A is our safe place. And when we try and get to point B, our brain, the cerebellum, the old part of our brain, doesn't recognize that bit. That feels unsafe. It feels dangerous. So our brain doesn't recognize it and just bounces us straight back to where we feel safe, because its job is to keep us alive. So it throws fear into the front of us as a sign. It's dangerous. There's something to be fearful of, and keeps us in our comfort zone. So as a coach, my job is to shine light on these dark areas, this self-judgment, this shame, all the guilt, all these negative things that we don't want to talk about. But when we're not talking about it, it's got too much power. And as soon as we shine light on it, it takes away its power. So there's loads of different tools that we can use, but one of the ones I always use, no matter what client I'm working with, is talking about all the good reasons for what it is that they're trying to achieve. So let's say it's losing weight, feeling better in your clothes, more energy, healthier for the long run, all those good reasons, more confidence, that we all want. And then we talk about all the bad reasons. And clients often say, well, I haven't got any bad reasons. Well, you must have bad reasons, because as a human nature is, that we're hardwired to always go to the easy option, the path of least resistance. That's what we do as humans. So if there was more good reasons than bad, you'd already be achieving it. So there has to be bad reasons. And sometimes this takes a lot of questioning and a lot of asking the right questions at the right time in the right way to try and probe out what it is that's stopping them. And it could be as simple as I'm worried about the cost of a whole new wardrobe. If I lose 3 stone, how am I going to afford a new wardrobe? That's a lot of money. I don't want to miss out on all the vices. I don't want to miss out on my glass of wine. I don't want to miss out on that bar of chocolate, or having that bonding session with my husband on the settee on a Friday night. You know, those are my vices, and I don't want to miss out on them. It could be that the goal is too far away, and that feels like a marathon, and I just, it just feels like hard work, and all these different reasons, all these bad reasons, but a client has to recognize them. And then once we recognize them, once there's more awareness, it takes away the shame and the guilt and the negativity, and then we can start to put habits in place that are smaller, more achievable, and doesn't feel so daunting and doesn't feel so bad. And then before you know it, they're not driving a clunky car because they're learning how to drive. It's just it's a smooth journey from A to B. And it takes time, but we have to break it down into stages, and that's one of the first stages, is bringing it to their awareness, and then breaking it down into more sizable chunks. Yeah, it's fun. It's really good.
Very similar language. I think, Mindy's obviously, that's how Mindy and I met. She came on the My Time for Change course 18 months ago. I was nearly 2 years ago in September, won't it be? And it's very, very similar language. It's there's years of conditioning.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll learn behaviour, the things you were told, experiences in life, the things you tell yourself, the things you read, the people you surround yourself by. So there's years of that. You then can't expect to go and undo that all in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 4 months, 6 months. It's about working on yourself. And I say exactly the same thing. Is you can't rush, race, or chase your health and fitness. You don't give yourself, if I said, right, okay, let's get fit and run a marathon, you'd go, what? Even taking it to Couch to 5K, even when people look at Couch to 5K and they look at that end result, it can still be too far. And it is about breaking things down into more manageable chunks, so you feel accomplished, and that you've got everything to encourage yourself for rather than discourage yourself, and be excited about what's ahead rather than thinking, well, what's the worst that could happen? And it's all those words. People feel anxious, they feel daunted, they feel overwhelmed, they feel panicked because it's something new. Now, what My Time for Change is so super simple, but it's something new. And it is that fear, I'm going to be hungry and I won't get it right. There is no wrong or right. There is no test. And it's my job to make sure that people are encouraged to not go all gung-ho in like an all or nothing, and thinking, well, and the expression I use is when you're driving a car and you get a flat tire, so something's gone wrong, you don't get out and go, well, that's gone wrong today, so I may as well slash the other three. You don't. And that's what people do. They have one bad, they go, oh, well, I've been naughty. And you use words like, I've been naughty, I've been good. And it's things we've been told as a child. We've all been told, if you're good, you can have your pudding. And and they're tiny little things. We probably, even now, three of us probably still say it, even though we probably shouldn't. But you've got all those feelings and emotions, and food is a very emotive subject, but also emotion, the way that what My Time for Change does is take away that roller coaster of emotion that comes with foods that don't help those hormones that are triggering those emotions, so that you can do both at the same time. There's no point just looking at what you eat if you're not looking at how you behave, and if you're not looking at how you behave, it might not affect how you. So the whole thing has to be looked at together. But you might look at it all at the same time. You might just work on that bit, and when that bit's become second nature, smooth, you then don't think about it. So you can then go, oh right, okay, I've got this bit now, and you just work on what it is that you're doing, but to have with women of a certain age when our hormones are changing, there are some foods that really don't, that we can't tolerate the same, that mess up our gut with our brain, what we're being told, the triggers.
Yeah.
So if we can help ourselves with that, which is with real food, with food that we love, that's not depriving. Yes, you can still have your wine, and yes, you can still have your chocolate, and all of that stuff. Then there's no fear of missing. There's no really fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And you either get back the person you once were, or you find the person you should have been.
Yeah, absolutely.
You didn't know existed, or you didn't know could thrive and flourish.
And it's putting the power back to the individual. We've outsourced it, haven't we? Outsourced it to diet gurus and doctors and all these different people, thinking, but we know our bodies better than anyone. And it's just getting you to believe that you have all the answers. You've got the power within. It's just we're just drawing it out of you, and so that you can then thrive and be the best version of you.
Yeah, and that's what I say, is that everybody is unique, everybody's individual, and therefore you have to find a way of eating and a way of moving that fits with you and your life, that's enjoyable and sustainable. For me, we cannot, end of story, go through life without moving. And when I say moving, I don't mean, beasting yourself at the gym.
No.
There's different types of movement that your body needs to be resilient, to be strong, but also so our metabolism is still there. That's what keeps us feeling.
Yeah.
Alive.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
Movement for me is key. And then, like you say, you empower people. So basically, what My Time for Change does is share the knowledge I have, so that it's not a gimmicky, like you say, diet guru or people, where it's just full of chemicals that it's just messing with your brain chemistry. The one thing, key, to unleashing it.
Absolutely.
And just to give people that knowledge, so that they can go, okay, I can make a different decision now. From my point of view, there's only so much I can do and impart. And then someone like yourself, whose expertise is very much, then you work on that with someone. It's a rolling course, and that's like, for some people will find it where they are with My Time for Change, but a lot. Well, actually, I would say that everybody would benefit from a bit of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you say you perhaps didn't even know. So, fascinating stuff. The brain.
It is. Everyone needs a coach. Every coach needs a coach. Everyone needs it. Absolutely, yeah. We all need it, because it's just that sounding board. And I believe, no matter what health setbacks anyone's had, I'm working with a client who's really, really quite poorly at the moment, and everyone deserves to have energy. Everyone deserves to have vitality and joy in their life. Everybody, no matter what your setbacks are, and it's absolutely possible for everybody. It's not impossible.
Just that in itself, that's our whole philosophy too, isn't it? I would say, Mindy, that you deserve to be happy, but so many people don't think they deserve to be.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, definitely. And, and chronic illness and illness, it adds another layer to the whole story, but it's just another story. So just unpick it.
And the same with My Time for Change. It's people are reversing out type 2 diabetes. People are coming off antidepressants. People are finding a sense of like, yay.
Definitely, yeah.
Fantastic. So Andrea, how do people find out more about, if they wish to have some life mindset coaching with yourself? How do they find out more about you? Where do they go?
My website is andreathomascoaching.com, and then my Facebook community is the Energy Bank, so they can find that on my either go through to my Facebook page, which is Andrea Thomas Coaching, or just search the Energy Bank and I'm there. That's a nice community there. Loads of free content on there as well.
And they can choose to be part of that community, or they can choose to have one-to-one sessions with yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the one-to-one sessions is a 12-week program that I offer, and that's on a one-to-one 12-week one-to-one program. And that can either be face-to-face, or at the moment, obviously, it's remotely, either on Zoom or over the telephone. But the community, the Facebook community, that's just a free resource for everyone to just get involved and help each other and support each other.
Brilliant. Thank you. And Emma, My Time for Change?
Again, it's Facebook, My Time for Change, and Instagram, My Time for Change 2020, EmmaWilsonFitness.co.uk and MyTimeForChange.co.uk as websites. Again, lots of free content on there. If you want to be part of the course, then you can sign up on the My Time for Change website. The next course is in August now. We're just starting, in fact, tomorrow is our July course. Starts tomorrow, and then we're back in August for August.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. It's very interesting.
Thank you.
Hopefully, people will realise that they can benefit from the likes of yourself. So, I know I've definitely benefited from coaching by Emma. So through My Time for Change. So, yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.